Okay, so I've got a set of questions that I want to ask before I get into my presentation. How many of you like AI? If you like AI, can you show by hands? Excellent. Some people are, there. How many of you don't like AI? Nobody. You don't like AI? Okay. How many of you know that AI is going to change the way we work and how a job is executed? Final question. How are you preparing for that? And do you have a plan in place? Who has a plan? You do? I almost said tell me the plan, but I know you. I know you have a plan.
I'll take up your whole presentation.
All right, so a little bit about myself. So we're going to be talking about the future of work in the AI age. And this is going to be a very good conversation. Trust me. So my background is fundamentally all over the place, but for the conventional person, it's been a little bit straight. I was born in Africa, in Ghana. My mom is British, my dad is Italian, and I was given the opportunity to go to Italy after being born in Ghana, and then eventually came to the UK. And this was my journey. I did Redbridge College, went to university, eventually opened my own business for several years, and then closed and went to work for the public sector. So I worked for government for several years, and then finally went into technology, and then later on in fintech. So conventionally, this has been a very straightforward journey. It's quite linear, right? Now, these are some of the organizations that I've had the opportunity to work with and also to work at. So here's the conversation that we are having. And that is the pace of change because of artificial intelligence is so much that people cannot even understand what's coming. I was at a talk with NVIDIA at Barclays, and they talked about the neural networks and how that these architectural frameworks or mathematical sequences that allows us to enjoy the ChatGPTs, they can now create their own neural networks on their own. What does that mean? It means that we are at the pace where complex problems are going to be very easy to solve. And then more specifically, difficult things that took longer, we can solve them in single moments. Over the last couple of years, there's been investments to actually solidify the technical ramifications to actually help artificial intelligence to grow. Right now, every employer wants somebody to have AI skills. If you don't have it, you're not going to be promoted or you're not going to find some kind of job. Very soon, you're going to see an introduction of robotics and what that means to your work and the businesses that you're doing. And then what happens after 10 years, we're all going to find out. There are speculations, but we'll see. This is the conventional journey of every single student. You go to some educational setting, they provide you the enabling environment to study, you should learn, qualify, get a job, and you work. The major impact, the first major impact of AI is on work. Is how we do things. That has changed. And I'm going to show you what I mean. This is why the employment market is having real drastic changes. And it's only the beginning. You see, everybody gets paid when you get a job to follow 3 strategies. One is the strategy, second is execution, and third is to make judgment calls every time you are executing or you are thinking. But AI is squeezing the execution part and making it easy to execute quicker, right? You understand what I'm trying to say, right? So ideally, you should be doing more strategy and more judgment. The future is going to be those that understand how to use these AI systems to execute, know how to strategize, and to make the right decisions. So it's having direct impact into the different white-collar, blue-collar jobs. This is why most people are seeing a decline in some industries, and some industries are growing. Because the first major impact of AI is on how we work. Never forget that. So, in the next 5 years, what will happen? Some jobs will disappear, some will continue, some will be created, but fewer jobs will stay the same. Only those who know how to leverage artificial intelligence and adapt will outperform. That is the first part. Now, the second major impact is education. And this is why we are here. The educational system is changing. How students are supposed to be prepared is changing. How they should learn is changing. And if they are not prompted correctly, they will come into an employment market that doesn't recognize them because they don't have the skills, and quite frankly, they don't have the attitudes and the idea of what that market looks like. And we're all raising them through the same old systems. What do I mean? There's a fixed standard way of teaching people. Because of AI now, we have the possibility of personalized training at the same time. You can have a box standard practice, but you can build systems that allow students to learn on a personalized level. Ideally, they're supposed to do more thinking, more questioning. They need to know how to learn. So the educational system has to refine the ways it assesses students, the ways it actually questions students and qualifies them. If that doesn't change, you're going to come into a market that expects you to be able to orchestrate intelligence, to have strategic thinking, critical thinking, and then also judgment. If they don't have that, and we're not able to marry those two things together, we'll have a generation of students that are being shipped into the job market, and they don't know what to do with it. So over the next 5 years, this is what's going to happen when it comes to education. And the students and educators that understand it, they've already begun to prepare. So, where do we go? Education prepares the workforce. If job shifts to evaluation, education must too. The old ways of doing things are gone, and the new ways are here. You have to know how to orchestrate intelligence. That is the major skill today. All of us have at our disposal expertise. People that have done incredible things, they're all in your pocket now. It's not just having access to it, it's knowing how to channel it to the right direction. And that is the skill of the future. Those that know how to do it will not have leverage. They will have exponential leverage. You can't compete because they are channeling agents, they are channeling operating systems, they are channeling quite a lot that a human being cannot do on their own. So these are the skills that need to be embedded in the students. Domain expertise is still very relevant. AI system, judgment. Mr. Anthony here talked about communication, right? Accountability, AI operating systems, data literacy. This is what an average student must have if they're going to be able to compete in the world. I put a roadmap here of what they need to do in terms of their career. But here's the point. The future belongs to those who prepare for it. The world has changed, I promise you. I help organizations to actually implement AI systems, and I can assure you that the competition is even different. It's on a different level, right? So if you think about your child, if you think about the students, you have to think about how you can better prepare them so that they can be able to have some kind of leverage in the world that we're going into. My name is Anthony. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you.